Hey, good morning. This is Joe from Citrus County Porch Life, bringing you a daily word, an AA word of the day for January 27th, 2025. And the word for today is freedom from guilt. Where other people are concerned, we had to drop the word blame from our speech and thought. This is the daily reflection commentary. When I became willing to accept my own powerlessness, I began to realize that blaming myself for all the trouble in my life can be an ego trip back into hopelessness. Asking for help and listening deeply to the messages inherent in the steps and traditions of the program made it possible to change those attitudes which delay my recovery. Before joining AA, I had such a desire for approval from people in powerful positions that I was willing to sacrifice myself and others to gain a foothold in the world. I invariably came to grief. In the program, I find true friends who love and understand and care to help me learn the truth about myself with the help of the 12 steps. I am able to build a better life free of guilt and the need for self justification. So, freedom from guilt, freedom from blame, almost, the same concept. I must say that in my experience, I I didn't seek approval from powerful people. My first adult job with the bank, um, I was in an IT position, and I was working third shift, so I wasn't around many of the bosses. But it became very apparent to me that most of the people who are in charge of the bank, and this isn't sour grapes or anything, were really incompetent people who are in there because of their heritage. Old swamp Yankees, and they blamed the national economy when things went right, and when the bank actually made money, they took all the credit themselves. Typical story. But, well, I'll just tell you about one, this person that was the president and CEO of the bank. When the bank was bought out, he could not get a position, anything equivalent to what he had. His mother and father both had a lot of money, and they were instrumental in working. I worked for a bank called Rhode Island Hospital Trust National Bank. So they're a trust fund for a hospital, actually. That's how they started out, and then they went into commercial banking and trust work, uh, and he could not get employment. He ended up heading a like one of these 24-hour job things. You go into a job center and wait and see if they had any jobs for you. So I never really saw any approval from them. I had people that I worked with that were brilliant, brilliant. The Swiss guy that I worked with, he knew more about computers than I think anybody I've ever met in my whole life. And he was the head of technical support. And he was brilliant, and I really liked him. He had a gruff exterior, but he was a nice guy. And I don't know. I didn't, I wasn't trying to cozy up to anyone. I couldn't do much of it on third shift. In fact, when I had my 20th anniversary, I didn't get anything. And I went to human resources. And I said, "Well, do I get anything?" "Oh, let me see." And they found out it was my 20th anniversary, and they said, "Well, the president will probably be in to see you." Well, he sent the gift with the note that it was too early. We left at 7 o'clock in the morning. We worked from 11 at night to 7 in the morning. He left the note. I won't be in. I'm not on the road that early. You know, only 20 years of work for the same company, and so it didn't phase me whether these people liked me or not. In fact, I went to get a loan, and the lady looked at me all annoyed. She says, we're not in the habit of giving loans to bank offices. I said, yeah, I was aware of that. She said, well, you're a bank officer. I said, I am. Well, what they did was they did a survey of all the different people in IT and people that head up different shifts. They found out that other banks, my position was assistant vice president. So they made me an assistant vice president and never even told me about it. So it was like we lived in two different worlds. I went in, did my work, did it very competently, and I wasn't worried about other things. The extra money was nice to bring me up to that level. I admit that, but I wasn't looking for them to like me or anything. And the whole thing fell apart with all the mergers, all those jobs, everything. So I wasn't too invested personally in getting ahead. And, I got switched to another bank, then got switched to another bank, then got switched to Boston. Not switched to physically, but physically to Boston. But so, you know, I get off on a sidetrack there. But I was more angry than seeking approval. And that's how I picked up my first drink. I came from a poor neighborhood. I was pissed off. I was pissed off that I was treated the way I was, walking home from the boys' club at night. Have the cops stop me. What do I know about this? What do I know about that? I went to a Catholic school. I wasn't even in the public schools. And all the Catholic boys kind of hung together. And I was a good kid. I didn't get in any trouble, never did anything. My passion was swimming and going to the boys club and meeting my friends and playing floor hockey and just what a typical kid likes. I wasn't stealing or robbing people. I didn't have any knowledge of any of that. And about twice a week, cops car would pull up. I'm walking home with a wet bathing suit. The cops want to know what I know about this. What do I know about that? I was being profiled basically for my address, which was a project address. It was called Bodell Avenue, and so that would make me angry. So I had a lot of anger in me when I picked up my first drink, and it continued and continued and continued. And finally, when I got the program and the spiritual growth helped me release some of that anger. So, uh, yeah, I was never, well, a common phrase. I don't like the never kiss ass. I was never one of them. And so that was pretty much my take on this. Freedom from guilt. Yes, I have that. I have the freedom from the anger. It pops up from time to time, but I have the tools now to make amends, to just go to the Lord with my problems and turn it over. That was another famous sign I saw at meetings. Turn it over. Let go, let God. Uh, so I kind of incorporated them into my way of thinking, and it's helped me. It's helped me immensely. And it's pretty simple. So I'm gonna let it go at that before I get off on a track, and this thing is running 20 minutes. So God bless you all. Have a safe Monday and have a sober Monday. Talk to you later.